Hello and welcome into Central Virginia here in the Hill City on Schellenberger Field. It's a non-conference showdown between the Lynchburg Hornets as they welcome to town Hood. The Blazers come into this affair at 2-2, a Lynchburg team that's played a whole lot of lacrosse. This is their fourth game in their last 3 days. It has been a barrage of lacrosse for the Lynchburg Hornets, and they've really gotten off to a strong start this season, Ski.
Yeah, I think if you ask them, they're not going to complain about that at all. As much lacrosse as you can get in at the beginning of the season, a whole lot of non-conference matchups. Lynchburg scoring a ton of goals. Hood coming off of a 2-game win streak. It's going to be a ton of fun for both these teams. We've had a good string of beautiful weather, and today has gifted us with another sunny day.
Yeah, the Blazers have already played against two ODAC opponents, falling to Randolph-Macon in their season opener, and then a OT thriller against Bridgewater. But as you mentioned, they've won their last 2 games, and this offense is really starting to find its rhythm. It's a group that can beat you in a whole lot of different ways, but who's really stood out this year is the Central Michigan grad student transfer in Maggie Merrill.
Yeah, when you got a grad student with that much experience, that's a veteran on your team that when you bring in a transfer like her, you're going to accept everything that she has to offer to the team, whether you're a coach or a player. Young players are going to look up to her and try and mimic her gameplay. Other players on the field are going to try and play around her, make sure she can do the best that she can.
She's the team's leader in assists this season with 5, second in goals with 11 so far this year. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Lynchburg Hornets, it has been the return of production from a year ago, the development of that core group that is just continually improving. Sydney Dumas, someone at the top of the list, so tough to ignore when you look at what this Lynchburg team can bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, you look at 20 goals and 2 assists, the point totals are really up there for Dumas, and she's been doing it every single year that she's been in the program. And for Coach Rafferty, you love that out of a player, and you're going to use that to your advantage.
National anthem upcoming here on Schellenberger Field. Stick with us. Opening draw control coming right up when we get back. And we welcome you back to Schellenberger Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Joe Brennan and Ethan Morotsky here on behalf of LHSN. Before we get things started, let's take a look at these two squads' pregame statistics in their 2026 season averages. We talk so much about that Lynchburg offense, but the defense has been just as, if not more, impressive for what they've been able to do after losing a real keystone figure from that squad a year ago.
Yeah, well, I think the turnovers really is the biggest number difference that we're taking a look at, and it's easy to just pepper shots at the goalie, but if you're really controlling the game, getting more turnovers than your opponent, you got a real good chance of success. Lynchburg, when the opponent has more turnovers than them, are 5-0 this season. The sole game against CNU that they lost is the only one that they've had more. So I think really that is a huge key factor for Rafferty and her squad today.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Lynchburg that they dropped at the hands of CNU, but that a very formidable opponent. That one played on the road. It was one of the closer games that they've had in the last couple of years, the closest since 2022 in an 11-16 bout. But, I mean, they gave CNU a run for their money. That was a 3-goal game heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that just shows progress for Coach Rafferty. This is their third season at the helm, and you're getting better and better as the seasons go. You bring in better recruits. People are going to start recognizing that this program really is on the up and up. And right now they're sitting at 5-1, which is a great spot at a non-conference play at the beginning of the season.
Only one conference game under their belt thus far. That was a 20-0 victory at Sweetbriar. All right, the season is picking up and doing so fast. We talked about 3 games played in the last 4 days. They've got another one on deck later this week at home against Rhodes. Right now, this squad just taking it one game at a time. At the center drop, first one is up and away, corralled by the Blazers. Spinning inside. And there's the girl we highlighted in the open. Maggie Morrell putting her stamp on this one in the opening 11 seconds.
Talk about making a statement. 11 seconds into the game, scoring your first goal as we take another look here. Beautiful shot, beautiful passing all the way around for Hood to start the game off.
And a little bit of a two-man game with her and Julia Gregory after winning that draw control. Gregory, someone we're also going to be talking a whole lot about today. The senior midfielder has been unbelievable for this Blazers program, a 2-time all-conference selection. She was their 2025 leader in goals. Right now, this Blazers team has come in hot to start things off.
Well, a lot of teams coming into a ball game think, let's just get the ball settled in. Let's slow the game down to start off, play our style of lacrosse. But Hood, throwing everything out of the window, said, let's just go onto the board and stomp our name here onto Schellenberger Field.
Back at the center circle, Lynchburg comes away with this one as Hausauer snares it out of the air. Lynchburg looking to move quickly. Here's Dumas on the other end. Stopped by the keeper. Piper, or pardon me, Taylor Barrett right in front of that one. Now the Blazers will try and clear. That pass sails high, corralled by Clay. Her pass deflected. Harper with possession. Blazers will go to X. Back up above the 12 meters straight away. At GLE. Dire with the feed. Morrill now looking to set the table. That shot clock now under 30. What a great day for some lacrosse ski.
Yeah, again, mentioned at the beginning that we've had a string of a couple really sunny, beautiful days.
Top shelf. Julia Gregory. And the 2-time all-conference selection makes it 2-zip. Blazers in control.
Well, Steinow and Clay had really been doing a good job on defense, not letting them through in on that near side of goal. But Gregory just slips through, finds a way in, and puts them up 2-0 early here in the first quarter.
It's just the second meeting between the two programs. They played back in 2020. right around that COVID time. It was first week of March. So that was days before everybody got sent home. That was a 17-8 Hornet victory. Lynchburg with another draw control. Hossauer working to her right. Feeds near side, and they'll play it underneath. They've already highlighted Merrill and what that impact transfer has meant for this Blazer squad this season. You could easily say through the first 3 minutes it's been pretty prevalent. We go back and look at this Lynchburg team and the host of new faces that they've brought in, both through the transfer portal and first years. It's been really impressive to see how this squad is really reloaded with talent.
Yeah, I think as a head coach going through a collegiate program your first couple of years, it's really all about finding those missing pieces to the puzzle, and you might not find all the missing pieces in your first, second, or third year. It's constantly adding one after another throughout your first couple of years at the helm, and I think Rafferty's done a really great job in doing so.
4 transfers this year for Lynchburg, coming from Radford, Emory, and Henry, as there's another save from the Blazers. Christopher Newport, Longwood, and then you add on top of that an extremely talented freshman class that you could argue is really highlighted with Messineo in that attack line, as a freshman out of Davisonville, Maryland, has really put on an offensive clinic through her first couple of games. On Sunday, she found the back of the cage a couple of times. Steinow near side.
I think throughout this ball game, somebody's always going to be hounding Dumas. One person always going to be on her one-on-one with somebody behind. And if you're Dumas, you just got to notice that, create pressure, and just cause commotion throughout the box.
One thing that this Lynchburg team really likes to do offensively is just clear to one side and then have somebody sweep across with their strong hand. Dumas carving her way to the interior. Another save. She is putting on a show here in the first quarter. Shot clock reset all the way up to 60. Here's where you're going to see her try and sweep. Good shut off. Hossauer. This Blazers defense not giving an inch here in the first quarter, trying to hold on to this lead. Steinow up top with a response. Lynchburg's first of the day.
The passing up front for Lynchburg has really been great so far. You get your first goal, now you take the training wheels off, get some momentum going, but they haven't been afraid to pass the ball right in front of net. You find one open person, and that's going to cause a whole lot of commotion, get a couple other girls wide in front of the net. Beautiful shot from Steinow to finish it.
Steinow, one of the toughest scorers to stop in the conference. Tallying 4 goals a game so far this season. Coming off a 5-goal performance this past weekend. Well, you got to clarify, against Piedmont on Sunday. Had a hat trick as well on Saturday against Christopher Newport. 3 numbers are lowest of the year. 4 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals. Blazers in transition, looking to answer quickly. And the sophomore punches it through. Rachel Harper, who had an unbelievable campaign as a freshman, has picked up right where she left off a year ago. That's her 7th goal this season.
A really great response from the Blazers. It looked like Lynchburg knew exactly where they were going and what they were doing, getting a little bit of momentum on the offensive end, but get them on the back foot right after that first goal for the Hornets and reestablish that lead at 2.
3 shots, 3 goals from the Blazers here in the opening quarter. Controlled by Gregory. Harper will take it underneath. And a bullet delivered by Maggie Merrill. Her second of the day.
It just seems like the Blazers are working perfect offense to start this first quarter. It seems like every shot they've taken so far is finding the back of the net. And if you're Lynchburg, you got to change something up. Something's got to happen. You got to find what things you can change to cover this defense, or excuse me, this offense.
4 shots, 4 goals. This offense is clicking.
If you're Hood College, you got all the momentum in the world, and you still got 9 minutes left in the first quarter.
Unbelievable. Everything's working, and it's a variety. They've showed they got a whole lot of bags in the tricks in the bag, I beg your pardon. I mean, you're getting dodge and goes, you're getting good ball movement, you're finding shots on the crease. And right now, everything's open. Miscommunication on the pass. Kept alive before it trickles out of play. Lee over for Gregory. Underneath is Welker. Backhanded feed offline, scooped up by the Hornets, Neely Morris. In 4-wheel drive, cruising downfield. Steinow wants to go. Split dodge to her left. Wrap it around the crease. Stopped by the keeper once more. Recovered by Steinow. Morris's feed is deflected. Ball's still free. Scooped up by the Blazers.
That really has been the difference maker so far in this ballgame. Every sort of bit of momentum that Lynchburg can create is a turnover from the Blazers right after it.
It's also been a strong first quarter between the pipes for Taylor Barrett. Beg your pardon, Tayton Barrett. The Hornets with a takeaway on the ride. Missanillo, long feed for Morris, trying to go downhill. Lost her footing, gobbled up by the turf monster, and another takeaway for the Blazers.
This is great defense from Hood. If you can just shut down Sydney Dumas, it forces Lynchburg's other players to step up, and if you can't do so, if you got that whole offense trying to run through Dumas, you're not going to find a ton of success.
Benincasa with a caused turnover on the other end. This time it's Maya Hossauer. Finds daylight. Dumas corkscrewing her way through the lane and deposits one into the back of the cage.
We mentioned how other players are going to have to step up, but Dumas is good enough to where she's going to step up even when she's guarded heavily by the Blazers, and a great job there from number 7 in red.
So all really set up with that second dodge she had driving inside. Just enough to pause the weak side help and create a little bit more space to get her hands free. 2-4 Blazers in front. So far it's been all the playmakers making plays.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. All the big players on both these teams really are stepping up. You got to see them. It's looking like it's going to stay around this scoreline, around 1, 2, or 3 goals. That is going to be the difference maker in this. It's just going to come down to who can string more in a row together. And Lynchburg, win the draw control, got a good chance at cutting that lead down to 1.
You know, the age-old saying is that numbers never lie. And right now you've got the 3 leading goal scorers this season for the Blazers with a goal today. You've got the 2 leading goal scorers for Lynchburg with 1 today. Merrill obviously leading all scorers with 2. Isanillo going underneath. Dumas looking for another. She's got it.
Dumas don't miss. She's really, really a threat in front of that net. And, again, cuts this lead down to 1. But you go look at Hood at the beginning of this game when they started peppering goals. They were winning those draw controls early. It seemed like almost every single one. And now Lynchburg cut the lead down to 1. You continue winning those first controls at the beginning. You got a really good chance at coming back and tying this up before this quarter ends.
Right now, Lynchburg with a narrow edge in the draw control margin, 4-3. What's really stood out to me thus far, Ski, is the clears. Right now, you've got a Hood offense that's found 4 goals, but they've still yet to clear it from one side of the field to the other. 0 for 5 thus far.
And I think if you're Lynchburg, you're going to keep hounding them on offense. If you know that they're really struggling getting that ball out, you're going to pin them into the back and do what you can to keep that ball on that offensive end.
Hornets with numbers. They'll slow the tempo. Give and go, 2-man game, stopped by the keeper. Barrett has certainly played her part here in the opening 11 and a half minutes. Recording 5 saves for the Blazers. But again, this is the key piece that we're looking at for Hood. Right now being harassed on their clears. Steinow in hot pursuit of Fisher. Good pass upfield. Corralled by Harper. Trying to advance inside the box. Ball still free in this time. The Blazers able to clear it end to end. Emma Massey brings it into the box. And a turnover. Heffernan. Nice job from Salem to get back and prevent the Lynchburg transition offense. Hornets looking to level the scorecard. It's been a high-flying first quarter of offense. 7 combined goals between the two parties. Steinow took her eye off the pearl. Hossauer picks it up off the carpet, looking to attack, going underneath. Ball poked loose and collected by the Blazers. Bowling broke with a ground ball. Up the near sideline. And pushed out of play by Dumas. There'll be a whistle against 7 in red. Lynchburg forces a turnover. 1-on-2, still looking to go. And pulls it out. Game clock will reset to 59 on the free possession for Lynchburg. The bouncer is true. 5-hole. Right through the legs, and we're leveled at 4.
Beautiful job from Doherty. Going right at net before this free possession. Gaining a great opportunity right through the legs. Beautiful shot from Doherty.
And that is the first one of the year for her. Just her 6th career goal for the Lynchburg Hornets. By the look of it, you'd think she'd have a dozen by this year.
Well, she's somebody, obviously a defender on the squad, that when she gets a turnover on her own end, I mean, she's bolting up the field. One of the faster players on this squad, but every time she gets it, she's doing whatever she can, even though she's a defender, to put as much pressure on attack as she can.
All squared up at 4 with under a minute to go. Lynchburg with a big response. 3 unanswered goals after the Blazers came out swinging here in the first quarter. Julia Gregory and company might just be looking to hold on to this one and burn out that clock, or try and take one final crack at it. Wheeler with a takeaway. Dumas. And time expires through the first 15 minutes. Got a barn burner on our hands. 4-4.
See, in this hive, everybody has a place. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody is a part of the swarm. We are engineers of empathy. architects of tomorrow, storytellers of today. We're not waiting to change the world. We already doing it.
It's in our DNA. Making a difference, being real, innovative, and strong wherever you are. Creating change. You believe the world can be better. We all can be better. And here is where we start making it happen. Fostering belonging. No matter who you are, here, you're home. Achieving excellence. From the classroom to the court, we don't settle. Neither should you. Lynchburg, it's in our DNA. Today, tomorrow, always.
Here in Lynchburg, the cage birds don't just sing, they soar. Because at Lynchburg, they were finally seen. A trademark of this place is self-expression. Not forced, not filtered, not a facade. We don't shape students into copies. We help you find your own voice. Unapologetic, authentic. Because to be a Hornet is to think differently.
It's in our DNA. Making a difference. Creating change. Fostering belonging. Achieving excellence. Lynchburg, it's in our DNA.
Honors for anybody looking to make a difference.
It's really community and connecting with the people around you. It's been one of my favorite parts of college.
Your calling is beyond the classroom. This is where you feel at home, where you feel connected. And this is the place where you'll answer that call.
And we will. Two parties. And we welcome you back into the Hill City. 8 combined goals through the opening 15 minutes of action. An early start from the Blazers as they notched for the first 5 goals. Then Lynchburg with 3 unanswered put us where we are now.
Yeah, I think if you're the Blazers, you do whatever you can to get back into that first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of focus that you had in that first quarter. You came out and scored 3 quick goals. And unfortunately, tied for the Blazers going in to the second quarter. But again, just do what you can do to keep that pressure on this Lynchburg defense. They were doing a fantastic job on their own offensive end. And if you're Lynchburg, you got to keep firing shots at the goal. Get the ball to Dumas. Get the ball to your best players and let her go to work.
Right now, one of Lynchburg's top players on the sideline with a yellow card for the next 2 minutes. Kenneth Stein, who tapped with the whistle. And this will be a great opportunity for Hood to try and pick up where they left off midway through the first quarter. They made their first 4 shots of the game, all of them true. Seems like the recipe for success for Hood today just might be putting balls on target and really trying to give the young keeper for Lynchburg a tough day of action.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You stay on your offensive end, you've got a really good chance, and that's where the success came from Lynchburg. I mean, it seemed like they were on offense for the last 10 minutes of that first quarter, or 8 or so minutes, and that really, time of possession, although if your defense is really great, time of possession is so huge in a game like this.
Right now, the Blazers a woman up. Emmy Clay, the Radford transfer, causing some chaos. A takeaway. Now Lynchburg just got to get it across, get the clear, and try and kill the rest of this penalty. A minute remaining in the penalty box for Steinow.
Yeah, I think with the penalty and a woman down, it is smart that when you have a little bit of open space, you're pretty confident that you're going to get the clear to slow things down a little bit. You know that they have the advantage on offense and defense, but slow things down, try and take as much time off this clock as you can so that you can get Steinow back into the game.
But showing no signs of trying to force a turnover by bringing a double. You can see Bolingbroke just in the interior adding additional support where they stick up in the air, but it seems like Lynchburg's just going to be able to wind this one down and get back to full strength. "20 seconds remaining for Lynchburg on the shot clock at even numbers. Hossauer over for a fresh Steinow. 15 and rolling. Steinow working to her right. Sweeping across. Underneath. Ball can't be caught cleanly. And Vogel just pitches it in the corner for a shot clock violation. Another turnover from Hood as they try and clear it. Vogel for Dumas. Cross the key inside. Hossauer off a feed from Steinow.
Beautiful play from Lynchburg. You take off so much of that clock with the penalty going on. You get Steinow back on the field, add a little bit of offense. You get the ball right back after that shot clock goes down and score one just seconds after.
This is such a dangerous Lynchburg team. They have so many different pieces that just have a boatload of offensive skill. I mean, you get the scoring from Steinow, then you get the passing, and I think Hossauer might be one of the most underrated pieces of this Lynchburg offense. I mean, there's so much she can bring to the table.
Yeah, and then with Coach Rafferty bringing in all these transfers, bringing in experience from other schools, other systems, and it brings insight on the different ways that you can play the game, different things you can add to this squad, and I think they've really done a fantastic job integrating themselves into this lineup.
Here's the transfer on the other side, the Central Michigan grad student, Maggie Merrill. For Lynchburg, obviously the goal is try and get to the top of the mountain in the conference. That's step number one for this team, to try and compete with the Roanoke's, the Shenandoahs, the W&Ls, of course, of the ODAC. Last year their season ended in Ashland in the conference tournament in a one-goal affair to Randolph-Macon. Those two teams side by side in the preseason conference standings. But this looks like a different Lynchburg team than we've seen in years past. I mean, you really get a coach that is starting to build that culture, and culture takes time. I mean, everybody says that, you know, the culture changes when a new coach comes in, and that's obviously the case, but it takes a while to get everybody bought in, and it needs to be a real player-led culture if you want to see that success down the line, and that is something that Rafferty has really done in the last handful of years, where you're starting to see these players brought in that fit so well, as you previously stated, into the existing culture and the offensive and the defensive schemes. And this team just seems to have a newfound level of confidence this season. All it takes is just one signature win, and in this conference, you could have a real great shot at an at-large bid as well. Here's Neely Morris inside the 12, into the 8, across for Steinow, sweeping to a right, the bouncer. 5 unanswered goals from the Hornets.
And a really great play from Neely Morris, driving towards the net, pulling 2 or 3 defenders towards her. You find an open Steinow, a little pump fake from her, right into the ground, into the back of the net. Beautiful play for Lynchburg.
You don't average 4 goals a game without backing it up. Here's Neely Morris looking for some room to operate.
And going back to the culture talk that you were mentioning earlier, and for people who don't know, here at Lynchburg, every team tries to establish their own style of culture, and people ask, oh, what is culture? It's the best way to explain it is culture is the boss when the boss isn't in the room. It brings realism to this squad. It allows you to have pretty much everything going in on your team at the right time.
Missinio on the doorstep cashes in. That's a great job from Dumas, crashing in and really shrinking that defense down, leaving a wide open threat right on the crease.
Yeah, really good play from the Hornets. And Missinio, if you look at her, she's somebody on this team, she brings some height. I mean, she's taller than a good amount of these players, and that's a real big advantage because you can really get some vertical on that shot.
Neely Morris with another win at the dot. Hausauer takes it into the box.
If you're Hood, you got to try and get a clearance here, put another goal up, keep this game close as it is right now.
Across the crease, off the keeper's stick and in.
I mean, it just seems like this Lynchburg team has glacier sizes of space on the offensive end. I mean, Coach Rafferty, if you're looking at that type of offense, you've got no worry in your mind if they can keep playing like this. And if you're Hood and you're visiting a school like this, a team like this where they're really on the upside, it's really tough to come into a place like Shelley and start off super hot and then have a ton of 7 unanswered goals.
Eight to 4, Lynchburg in command. They'll play it out. Far side angle. It's a Blazer team that has been efficient today when they've gotten shots on the woodwork. They've made 4 of their 5 today. Just 1 shot in the last 10 minutes. Merrill. Got it.
If you're the Blazers, that's exactly what you need. You're down 4. You had 7 unanswered goals for Lynchburg. Cut this lead down to 3 and start to get some momentum on the offensive end.
Sometimes getting 1 can really break the seal, and it can become contagious. If that goal scorer acts like a virus, then everybody can get in the mix.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, I mean, this is a team for Lynchburg to where if you're going to keep them on the offensive end, it's going to be really tough. It's going to make your players a little tired, and that's something that Coach Rafferty advertises here at this school, where she really is going to want to pour it on offense.
A win from Hossauer. Oh my goodness, Steinow. Illegal use of the stick from Merrill.
With all the pressure that Lynchburg already has, a green card and a player sitting out for a couple minutes, really going to be a disappointment on that Hood College side.
Prolific shot making on both ends of the turf today. We've yet to see a goose egg in a frame thus far. We just got their first of the second quarter to try and chip away at this Lynchburg advantage. But Hossauer once again with a response.
This Lynchburg team not scared of treading closely in front of that goal. When you've got passes as perfect as that, gives you a wide open area of space. And the good thing that I love about this Lynchburg offense is they score, they make a good play, they go right to Coach Rafferty for some feedback. So this team really trusts their coach, and it shows right here. 9-5, a big lead, and they're looking to continue going at it.
Cruise scoreboard. 9-5. Blazers with the draw control. I think a key right now for Hood is going to be trying to spin that ball around, find good circulation on the outside to really try and freeze something inside, and right on cue. Ball movement creates an open look for Emma Massey.
Seeing some really good fight out of the Blazers. You see a small weak point on that defense, and they're going to capitalize on it every single second, and you get that offense to activate. This is a really dangerous team. You mentioned earlier about how scoring 1 goal could be a virus. Goals can be an infection. 1 comes, 2 or 3 can follow. If your goalie Owings, got to try and shut down all sort of momentum. Still got that 3-goal lead. You got to be a padlock back there, not letting anything through.
Emmy Clay captures the draw control. Steinow takes a screen. Works to her left. Feeds Hossauer. Dumas with another. That was a little more nonchalant from Dumas.
I think that's all right if you're scoring as many goals as she is. You know, obviously you want everybody to get hype over your goals, but when you're nonchalant like that, like you mentioned, it shows you got some class, some dignity.
Dumas with a hat trick in the first half. Hossauer and Steinow also on watch for Lynchburg with a pair. Maggie Morrell leading the way for the Blazers with 3. 6 goals for Lynchburg here in the second quarter. We're only 10 minutes in. I mean, this could be an unbelievable display of offense if they keep it up at this pace. Right now they're on target for 9 goals just in the second quarter. Steinow will bring it across and set the table for Lynchburg. It has been a fun one thus far. Certainly getting your money's worth on Schellenberger Field. Clay hesitates. Dumas attacks, extra pass. Steinow once more.
Beautiful tiki-taka passing from Rafferty and company. And with a game like this, up by 5 in a non-conference game that might not have the sensitivity as an ODAC game, you're still taking this super seriously. These are big games at the beginning of the season to set the tone for your conference play.
Well, we will step aside as the Blazers want to talk things over. 11-6, our score on Schellenberger Field. Hornets out in front.
Here, you'll learn to lead the way in the industry you love. The Equestrian Sport Management major at the University of Lynchburg. Accepting applications now.
Thank you for everything, Dr. Evans. You have made a huge impact on my athletic training journey, and I appreciate all the help you have given me along the way. Lynchburg is super lucky to have such an amazing clinical coordinator and professor. That's so sweet.
Dear Dr. Sarah Johnson, you are the best. You're super encouraging and really empathetic. I'm not sure if I would have made it through the first part of the semester without your complete understanding and patience. I really appreciate your help and trust in me that I would come through with my assignments after being kicked down by my loss. Thank you so much for letting me have the extra time on my paper. I know I say this a lot, but I am so glad you're teaching us. Happy Teachers Appreciation Day.
Just wanted to say thank you for all that you do for the campus community. You make it a better place by giving others a space to feel welcome, accepted, and heard. Thanks for spreading light and peace. There is nobody I know that does it better than you. Hope all is well with you.
Thank you, Dr. Price, for your understanding and patience. You are always available for questions or extra help, and take the time out of your day to give me extra assistance with classwork. You have definitely set the bar high for me when it comes to good professors in the future.
Brittany Smith, I wanted to thank you for your dedication and passion in the classroom. Your way of making basic, emergency, and injury care management come to life has made learning enjoyable and sparked a genuine interest in me. Thank you again, especially for helping me get my mental health good, and I can't thank you enough.
I came in this profession
(6-11). Hornets leading the Blazers on Schellenberger Field. It has been an eruption of offense for Lynchburg in the second quarter. 7 goals and 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. You know, while we've been talking so much about the offensive play, Ski, on the contrary, the defensive side of the field for Lynchburg has really cleaned up, only allowing 8 shots for this Blazers squad, 3 of which have come in the second quarter.
Yeah, and with 6 goals for Hood, it just shows you how efficient their shots are so far. And I think you keep these offensive opportunities going, and you got a really good chance at coming back into this ballgame. You go back to the drawing sheet during that timeout, maybe even halftime if you can collect a couple goals before. And you got a good chance at tying it up, maybe going back and retaking that lead.
The one aspect we really haven't hit a whole lot on is how can Hood try and slow down this offensive showcase that Lynchburg is putting on here in the opening half?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with your transition from defense to offense. I know you're really being hounded by Lynchburg, and here's a good opportunity. Collected up by Hood, but the transition from defense to offense, moments like this where this Lynchburg really is going to keep pressuring you the entire way.
Well, it felt like in the opening stages of that first quarter, they had a reliance on their keeper where Lynchburg was getting good shots, but they ultimately just were not falling. And eventually, after they keep getting all these attractive looks, they just start to drop.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this offense so far for Lynchburg has looked like an orchestra with Sidney Dumas at the helm, the maestro of this entire band, and so far it's been working pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a finance major, but I can tell you that 11 goals through the first 30 minutes of play are some quality numbers you're looking at.
And when you get 7 unanswered at the beginning of the game, you got a lot of good things going for you. I think a lot of that starts with how Hood came out so well, so firing against Owing, scoring a couple goals, and Lynchburg not staying tolerant on that defensive end, trying to get a transition.
Shot goes wide after it was poked free. There's a nice stop from Owings. Thrown away, but tracked down. Stewart and Daughtery just not on the same page on that sequence. Inside feed, behind the back. Can't put it on target. Off the pipes, ricocheted out.
Not sure if that hit the pipes or if that hit one of the Lynchburg players. Looks like Megan Wheeler on the ground, possibly in pain.
Yeah, you could see it ricochet, but you didn't hear the ding You traditionally hear off the crossbar. And it looks like Lynchburg is going to make a substitution. Carmen Nicolas will take her place. Under 30 seconds remaining in our opening half. Gregory near side. Over from Merrill. Curling back to the left. Merrill, 3 on the ticker. Gotta go. How about the defensive stand right there from Carly Jackson? Merrill had nowhere to go. And the Hornets close out a strong first half of action with an 11-6 lead.
Yeah, really great start for the Blazers, but really couldn't keep that pressure on Lynchburg. Whenever the Hornets got in their own offensive end, or in their offensive end, it was really just lights out. Great passing, great shooting, all around. Beautiful first half performance for Lynchburg.
Oh, that will take us to the intermission. Don't go anywhere. We've got more women's lacrosse coming your way on FloSports. And we welcome you back in, and there's a goal from Emmy Clay. We apologize for the broadcast technical difficulties with our audio. Nevertheless, back up and running as Emmy Clay nets one.
Good time to come back right before the action, and a great job from Emmy Clay to start off the second half just like Lynchburg left it. And it just seems like on defense, these Blazers are running miles everywhere trying to defend this Lynchburg squad. But nonetheless, Lynchburg a 6-goal lead, just under 2 minutes of play. (13:38), 12-6 in favor of the Hornets. Control picked up by the Blazers.
Turn off the replay and then turn it back on for him. 12-6, Lynchburg in firm command. Pass offline and rolls out of play. Another turnover for the Blazers. They're 14th today, 7 of which have been caused by Lynchburg. You know, going all the way back to that first quarter, this was a 4-1 ball game, where Lynchburg has just taken over. It seems like a lot of this off-ball cutting for Lynchburg on the offensive end has opened up so many of these shots. 6 assists on 12 of their goals. There's another good look for Dumas that won't trickle in. But, I mean, it's been so wild to see how different this game has looked from the opening 10 minutes till now.
Yeah, Lynchburg really has run away with it. Of course, only up by 6, which is a good margin, but it's gives Hood still has a chance to come back. Another good stop from Lynchburg. Hood will retain possession, but this is a Hood College team where they're 2-2 at the moment, trying to fight, get over that 500 hump.
Merrill at the point. She wants to go. Triple team comes. Dished off. Crash inside. And is stopped from Owings. Quick release. Hornets pushing the pace. But poked away by a trailing Bolingbroke. Ball jarred free. Still fighting for it. A goose out in front for Steinow. And now she'll set the scene. Steinow once again. She is cooking on the offensive end. I feel like she's got to start breaking out new stick celebrations. With how many you're scoring at this rate, 4 a game, at average, right on par, and you got 24 and a half minutes to keep on adding to it for Steinow.
Yeah, she's been a really key piece to the offense, not only today, but throughout the entire season. And her level of play has been about as good as popcorn on movie night. Been fantastic throughout this entire season.
Draw control by the Blazers. Talk so much about this transition game today. The game inside the game a little bit, and just how these two offensive schemes have really operated. Seems like Lynchburg has had a whole lot of success going from one end of the field to the other, just with the wheels that you're seeing. I mean, you've got Blazer defenders that are just looking at the back of the heels. Meanwhile, the clears for the Blazers just haven't been where they've needed to be today, and have resulted in a whole lot of turnovers that have given Lynchburg these half-field sets where they've been able to take what they've wanted. Good opportunity here for the Hood Blazers with Morrell. Tack another one on. 7-13 our score.
And something like that in the middle of this third quarter and beginning of this second half can be somewhat of a morale booster for this Hood College team. Something that they need to just starting to get going, and maybe get a little bit of momentum going late into this ball game.
That's exactly right, Ski, but it feels like you're going to need stops before anything else, because right now this Lynchburg offense is showing no signs of declining anytime soon.
Well, I think if you're Lynchburg, with the way you've been playing after that first quarter, even a little bit before the end of the first quarter, you got to stay in that lane, keep driving forward and making an advance to the goal, keep scoring.
Another cause turnover by the Hornets. With how they've gone this game, that trend is often turned into offense on the other end.
Yeah, definitely been a key for this Lynchburg squad, taking advantage of the turnovers.
Vogel underneath to X. Played back up top. Haley Williams now back over for Vogel. Here comes the sweep to her strong hand. Shut off by the Blazers, and Dumas will run it over to Steinow.
Steinow really has headlined this offense. Again, scored a ton. I mean, she's a key organ in this body for this Lynchburg offense, and really has been outstanding today.
It's tough to tell who exactly is the heartbeat of this team, but when they work as a collective unit, they can really beat anybody in the nation. It's really impressive to see what this squad has done. Right now, it seems like they're en route to a 5-1 start to the year, and possibly more down the line. We talk about conference championship aspirations. Right now, just by reading the stat book, you would think that this team is well on their way.
Win not out of sight for Hood College. Obviously, you're only down by 6. Still a lot of time left in this ball game. Just under 6 minutes in quarter 3. And if you're playing on Schellenberger Field, we've seen some crazy things. So the Lynchburg still has to hold on. Game's not over until that final whistle blows.
Good feed over for Strano. She'll pull it out and reset. Williams over for corner. Right back to Williams. Takes a high screen. Dishes it off to the roll man. Ball popped out of Dumas' stick. Right back out to Poitres. Dumas, what a dodge. What a finish.
Dumas really was tempted with open space, and she's going to take that 10 times out of 10. The switch up that she had going towards goal really looked impressive, injecting that one right into the goal.
And another one for Lynchburg. Neely Morris punches it through. (15-7). Lynchburg poured it on.
Yeah, with how demanding this offense has been, I mean, it's nowhere to hide for any defense so far that Lynchburg has gone up against, except for CNU. But a really great job from Lynchburg's offense to start this season off, and they're letting it pour on. Another 10-plus goal game for this Hornet squad.
$15 goals on 21 shots today for the Hornets. Hossauer, a quick flip to Clay. Dishes for Dumas. And this one's grabbed by the keeper in Barrett.
It's tough to come into Schellenberger Field and play a tough Lynchburg team no matter what sport it is. It's almost like
Steinow, freebie on the crease. Barrett lost her footing.
Lynchburg will take any goal that they can get. We do have a player limping on the far side of the field.
Seemed like on that clear. Yeah. Missanillo get right into the hip of the defenseman. As the goalie was out of positioning, you had Barrett trying to get back into the crease. fell on her back, and when you have a goalkeeper laying belly up, that's a pretty ideal time to strike for Steinow.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Steinau's been an animal today, and any sort of lick of offense that she can muster up has really been lights out, and she's just adding on to that goal total.
5 today for Steinow. That matches a season high. That's now 10 goals in the last 2 games. I mean, she has always been a prolific shot maker, but this season, you said it, she's been an animal. You can go back and watch the tape. Well, what she's done this year has been one of a kind, where she's got a great shot to be in the conversation for the Conference Player of the Year. And we're only 2 weeks out of winter.
Yeah, just a few weeks into this season, and this Lynchburg squad clearing out the mud of this gameplay, and no cobwebs to be seen so far.
Dumas. He'll slow the offensive set and spin it around. So unique as you've got a Lynchburg offense right now that's operating by the masses. Got 8 different goal scorers and 2 girls with 4 or more goals. And Dumas might get a free possession look right here and a chance to make it 5. It's a common situation for Dumas. She's been in these spots a whole lot of times throughout the season and during her Lynchburg career. This year, 3 of 6 on free position shots. She's taken more than anybody else on the team. She'll pull it out. Nissanillo for Dumas. Over the frame. Whistle blows is dead. Call away from the ball. And now a free position look for Neely Morris. Last time Lynchburg took it out. This time they'll attack. Morris on the money. Morris makes it a 10-goal game.
Just a minute left in this third quarter, and getting that 10-score lead really is going to bolster not just the offense, but the defense. Owings in between the pipes. Everybody going to be feeling really good going into that fourth quarter of play.
I mean, can you try and elaborate on what this Lynchburg offense has really done here in the second and third quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you go look at it, the offense really has been penetrating that defensive line. I mean, they've been doing a great job kind of keeping their form in a braid, intertwining through going in throughout, forcing people out of position, and a lot of it comes from senior Sydney Dumas. I mean, she's been doing a fantastic job. Her, Steinow, I mean, everybody on this team is doing their job on the offensive end.
Lynchburg will likely just hold and wind out the remainder of the clock here in the third quarter. You know, one thing we haven't talked about that I'm actually a big fan of today's matchup is the uniform combos. The all blues from Hood, the all reds from Lynchburg. It feels like we've got a firefighters versus policemen game going on.
That's a good one. No, I didn't think about that. Now it's going to be stuck in my head. I'm a big fan of that, Joe.
Well, a yellow card will pause play here momentarily with 24 ticks to go in the third. Tabbed against Hood's Mia Trenley. Or pardon me, Trenay, the first year out of New Jersey.
A couple minutes on the sideline will be the fate of the first-year midfielder.
Now this is an interesting dilemma for Lynchburg, because do you try and put one on frame when you've got extra bodies on the turf, or do you just try and maintain possession and wind that clock down to hold on to it going into the fourth?
I mean, I think up by 10, you're not really afraid of either one. You can do whatever you want. It looks like they're just going to take this down to 0 and head into the fourth quarter of function.
And that will do it. 3 quarters through. 17-7 Hornets out in front of the Blazers on FloSports and LHSN. And we welcome you back to the Hill City on Schellenberger Field, where the Hornets, with a commanding 10-goal advantage, headed into the fourth quarter. Ski, Lynchburg has really laid down the law in the second and third quarter, and it's been the legislation of Sydney Dumas and McKenna Steinau with 10 combined goals. I mean, these girls have been playing out of their mind today.
Yeah, you absolutely love that from your fearless leaders. And when two players are combining for 10 goals, that puts you in a good spot for the rest of the team. You take those two out, it's a tie game. It's 7-7. So Hood College, a lot to work on in this fourth quarter if they want to come close to a comeback. But Lynchburg, with a 10-goal lead, something you love if you're a coach is you get to throw some more players in there and figure out who can step up and try and extend this lead or show off some skill for later on maybe in the season.
And it seemed like they were having some fun during the break. You had Ain't No Mountain High Enough playing on the speakers. You had some dancers and singers in that Lynchburg huddle. I mean, this team is just playing with a really high sense of confidence, and they're playing freely. We do apologize for the game clock not showing up on our scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. We'll continue to update you on the time we've got. A green card has been awarded to Hood for an illegal substitution. So it looks like there are going to be 3 women down. Three players in the penalty box for the Blazers. I don't know if I've ever seen this before, Ski.
And we get to see it here live on FloSports and LHSN. Beautiful night in the Hill City. Slightly cloudy now. Sun was glaring into the press box. I'd say just about 15 minutes ago, it felt like.
Clouds will do that. They tend to move in that manner. Williams cutting inside. Couldn't corral the pass.
Free play goal, and it is in for the Hornets. Another 18-7. And the Hornets just keep tacking on. Fourth quarter running down. And Lynchburg has shown no signs of fatigue.
Another one of those impact transfers for the Hornets. As you see, the Lynchburg men's baseball team out on the sideline having a good time. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Lynchburg's season a year ago and how they ultimately couldn't make it to the end of the bracket in the ODAC tournament. It's a team that really could be trying to make that Mackenzie Rafferty debut in a ODAC championship game this season, it feels like they've got everything they need to really make that postseason push. And that's something we've seen today. It's something we saw yesterday. It's something we saw on the road against CNU in a hard-fought loss. I mean, it's a squad that right now it's really tough to pinpoint an area where they might have some early season concerns.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Starting off a season 5-1, it's always tough, and when you're exempt from that ODAC championship the last couple of years, it really makes you want to fight even harder and display a sort of offense that you haven't shown to other schools.
Right now, the storyline today has just been implicit efficiency for this Lynchburg group. 18 goals on 27 shots. It was a relatively slow start, but it picked up in a hurry as Williams draws a double team. Pearl got poked free. Still loose, picked up by Williams, takes a hit in the back, and that will pause play.
The mechanical prowess of this squad throughout the entire ball game really has what made them budge through this defense and allowed them to put up 18 goals. And it's something that really this defense has leaned on. Their offense has really been fantastic and charismatic going through the entire field. And when you're as healthy as this squad and scoring, putting up a ton of shots on goals, you got a really good shot at winning. I mean, the common saying is defense wins championships. Well, today, offense has won Lynchburg this ball game, and they have been firing on all cylinders.
Another chance for the Hornets as the Blazers are down a soldier. We'll reset that shot clock and recognize another free position shot for the Hornets. Near side location, and a stop for the Hood Blazers. And a whistle against Nicholas.
And going back to Coach Rafferty and her transfers, sometimes just finding that missing piece to the equation is really, really what can help you throughout a team. And with how well they've done the beginning of the season, she might have found it.
Blazers will take it. Timeout. We'll take one with them. 18-7 with 10:07 to go in the final quarter. And we welcome you back into the broadcast booth at Schellenberger Field. We do have a change between the pipes for the Blazers. Laura Hiddle checking in. Meanwhile, Hood on the offensive end, who converted on half their shot attempts today. Harper. Merrill swings it around for Salem. Right back over to Harper. Good ball movement from the Blazers. Now it's Gregory underneath. Wrapping around. Top shelf. Julia Gregory with a hat trick.
Yeah, this Hood team has really been fostering a good offense, but the problem is getting onto that side of the field. Lynchburg has really been dominating in the middle and on their offensive end. I mean, when you're allowed to snatch every single ball from Hood College and stop any sort of transition, makes it really tough.
Door hasn't been closed yet, but if you're the Blazers, you need to try and stop this running clock first things first. At double figures, so it'll continue to roll with 8:15 remaining. Salem to her left. Saved by Owings. No, it bounced in. And now the clock will stop at 7.5 to go. Yeah, you could see Owings got a piece of it initially. An unfortunate bounce that went bar down. Clay with the scoop. And Lynchburg with an answer. That clock now continues to roll at 6:50.
Hornets almost at that 20 mark thanks to Haley Williams, the sophomore. Another piece that really, since her freshman year, has started to progress and do a good job implicating herself into this lineup.
Second one of the day for Williams. Handful of multi-goal performances today from Lynchburg. Whistle awards the pearl to Lynchburg. Blazers the other way. Caught in a straight jacket and a whistle against the Hornets. Madison Stewart tabbed with a whistle. A green card. Clock now under 5 minutes to go. Salem back up top. Gregory trying to attack. And the penalty released back to even numbers. Gregory let one fly before Lynchburg could match up man on man. Oh, what a spin. Nice stop from Owings. That looked like the best save we've seen from her today. And there's an answer from DeRay, the first-year attackman. Once again, that pauses the clock now at 4 minutes to go. As we take a look at what's to come for Hood, a matchup at home against Marymount this upcoming weekend, and you travel on the road for another ODAC affair against Eastern Mennonite. Meanwhile, for the Hornets, we touched on it earlier, the barrage of games that they have from this past weekend to this upcoming weekend, where they've got another one on deck on Friday at home against Rhodes. Then you have your penultimate non-conference matchup against Marywood in Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Electric City. And there's some more electricity for the Hornets. Haley Williams once again. Cue Dancing Queen.
Good song. Gotta say, it's probably one of my favorites.
What would be your goal songs?
My goal songs?
Or just songs?
I mean, honestly, Dancing Queen's a good one.
You are the Dancing Queen.
Man, let me think. It might be one that I have to get back to you on. I mean, you're putting me on the spot here, and there are a lot of songs out there.
There are a lot of songs out there.
Maybe Let's Go by Key Glock.
You like Key Glock?
I do like Key Glock.
I mean, if you don't like Key Glock, I don't trust you. I like the yacht rock genre. I think anything like that feels pretty appropriate in the setting.
Although I could see myself going with a Blink-182 song.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a big jump.
Yeah, it is.
That is a big difference.
Two completely different genres. Yeah. No, but I'm a guy that likes all sorts of types of music.
Maybe like some red wine, like a little reggae action.
Yeah, that's a good one. Would you say that would be yours then?
Probably.
That's
that
fits
a great
you.
candidate.
I think that fits you, to be honest.
I don't know if
Maybe
it's red wine or red wine.
I think it's red wine.
It's a good one.
I think it fits you a little too much.
I'm not going to ask you what you meant by that. Let's go. 90 seconds remaining. Hornets have all but put a bow on this one. Steinow and Dumas led the way for Lynchburg today with 5 goals apiece, 10 combined between the pair of attackmen. Entry feed poked away. Blazers will try and clear. And picked up by Corm. And with 45 ticks to go and 75 on the shot clock, Lynchburg should just wind this clock down. Ski, big takeaways from today on both sides?
I think it was a really great start from Hood. I think they came out guns blazing, and it really worked for them. They scored a couple goals, but Lynchburg really came back, had that 7 unanswered goal streak, and I think that's really what was the difference maker in that first half, and it just carried over to the second. Stopping Steinow felt like it was impossible for Hood College today, as she was on fire.
A goal scored in the waning seconds from Emma Massey to halt the clock at 6 seconds. Yeah, Steinow, one of the conference leaders in goals scored this season, especially you look at the average per game as she's missed 2 this year. But back-to-back 5-goal outings for 31 in red. Nevertheless, you get the sense that this group is much more concerned with the team element rather than the individual aspects and achievements. They improved to 6-1 in the regular season with a pair of non-conference bouts on deck in the next 11 days. A draw control for Neely Morris is how we will end today's affair. We thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us on FloSports. Hornets 20, Blazers 11. From Joe Brennan, Ethan Moratsky, and all of us at the University of Lynchburg, thank you so much. And until next time, have a good one and stay cool.